Showing us how to cook a lobster, Eska's Dave Pasternak. If there's a fish guy, he'd be the one.
So we're here at Small Fish Market with Eric. Eric brings in lobsters from
Nova Scotia.
Nova Scotia.
These are what we call Canadian turkeys.
Bay of Fundy, Nova Scotia?
No, actually, Southwest Nova, which are considered the best lobsters in the world. Out of all the areas of Nova Scotia, they're the hardest shell because of the deep seawater basin that's inshore.
So what we're gonna do is we're gonna open up a box here. All right, we got our pot getting hot here. So we wanna look for when we're buying a good quality lobster, A, the shell is as hard as a rock. This is the essential because when the shell is hard, it means that they're done shedding. In the summertime, when lobsters are a lot cheaper, they're what we call new shells. And you're paying for a lot of water weight. Here, you get your money's worth. You pay more money, but you'll probably get 25% more meat out of this particular lobster than you would a new shell lobster. The best scenario is to cook them in seawater, because then you're gonna have the natural salt in the water. Right, if you look, the water's at a real hard boil, right? Drop them in there. What's the rule of thumb for cooking lobsters?
They say 8 minutes per pound, and then probably 2 to 3 minutes after that.
All right, so now we've steamed the lobster. You see the white coming out of it. That's actually fat from the lobster itself, which is a very good characteristic of a good lobster. So we're gonna crack the claws off, all right? We're gonna turn it over and we're gonna split it open. Typically, when you do a steamed lobster, you'll split it like this. It has nice tamale and stuff inside of it. All right, we're gonna remove this little piece up here in the top, which is no good. All right, we don't eat that. There's a little intestinal tract here. We're gonna remove that. On a good hard shell lobster, you need to give it a good whack. Everybody has their favorite part. Some people like the tip of the claw. Some people like the inside of the claw. You have all the green stuff, the liver and the tamale. My favorite part, that little nugget of meat right there, is my personal favorite piece of the entire lobster. Tony, eat your heart out.
Showing you how to prepare an omelet, Jacques Pepin. What can I say? He's the godfather. He's the guy who literally wrote the book on technique.
The making of an omelette is often required, certainly when I was a young man, to show how good you are with your hand in terms of technique. You know? To start with, when you break your egg, don't break your eggs on something edgy like this because it tends to break the yolk and introduce some bacteria in it. So you go on something flat like this and you open it. First technique. So a dash of salt, of course, freshly ground pepper in it. Black pepper I use. Break the yolk and beat it. Even when you beat it, there is a technique. Often people will turn very gently like this. It's like a wet mop going around. No, you have to beat it so that you don't have any pieces of egg white in it. Okay. A small pan. This is a non-stick pan, which is, of course, is the best for that. So a little piece of butter. And maybe we'll put a little bit of chive in there. So you pour your omelette in there. And in the standard omelette that you have, you let the eggs coagulate, and then with the tin of the fork, you bring the coagulated eggs inside and you let it get crusty again. So that omelette will eventually get nice and brown on top with fairly large curd and with a specific texture. You see, eggs, if you cook them at high temperature, tend to toughen the eggs. Some like it really wet inside, some like it not too wet inside. Purely a question of taste. So maybe I stir it a little more. And for me here, I probably would have it as wet as this. I let a bit of a crust form, and you start bringing this together. So usually you fold your omelette in half like this, still pretty wet from the center. Let it brown a little bit. Then unveil it on the plate. So the omelette will be nice and brown, pretty large curd with a specific texture.
The love that Americans feel for a good hamburger has led them to believe in a dangerous falsehood, and that is, I know how to make a hamburger. Chances are, you don't. And to add insult to injury, we're gonna have a French guy show you how. Chef Laurent Tourondel. Hey, the next thing you know, the French will be claiming to make better French fries than us. Oh, wait a minute, they do.
All right, so of course I have the meat from La Florida. That's our meat purveyor. Now I'm gonna shape BLT burger, the specialty of the restaurant. You can see all the marbling of the beef. It's about 20% of fat. Our burger, the BLT burger, is 7 ounces, okay? I think the ratio has to be very proportioned. It's important to season it before cooking it. So I put butter on both sides. When we put the butter, instead of dripping, caramelizing on the flat top, as well as the fat of the meat going down on the flat top. So basically, the burger is cooking in their own fat, and that's what gives a good flavor to it. Now we have the bun going on one side here, and we're gonna get the bacon going too. You know, I think a good burger should be cooked medium rare. I like to see the pink in the meat. Rare, to me, when the burger is rare, the meat is not cooked enough and the meat is very pasty, and I don't think that's good. The good part is also having a good bacon inside, meaning getting a good double smoked bacon. So you see, you don't get this caramelization on the beef between the butter and the beef fat on the grill. You get the char, which gives a different flavor. I don't press on the burger, because more you press on the burger, the juice of the meat gonna come out, and you don't need that. You need to have the juice stay in, you know? Most of the time it looks ready, but it's not ready. So we have a good way to tell. When you squeeze your hand and you touch here and it's hard, it's actually medium well. When you release a little bit, it's medium. When you release the hand, it's actually medium rare, and when you go like that, it's rare. It's a good trick. See, right now I'm touching it, and it's soft in the middle like that. Now, right now it's rare. You see the fat coming out around? See the nice crust on top? That's what, when you bite into it, you feel the first flavor, you know? The salt, the pepper, the oil, the butter, the fat of the burger. A cheeseburger cannot be made with any other cheese than American cheese. It has to be the American cheese, at least to me. With a cloche. I cover it so the cheese melts on top, you know. It's a little trick we have. Now putting the bread on the same flat top where cooked the bacon is not a bad thing either, you know. And I think it's very important also to have the bread hot when you do the burger. I hate people who serving burger with a cold bun, you know. Okay, so now we have the bacon going on it. I have some BLT sauce here, which is a Russian dressing with gherkins, the lettuce, tomato, onion, and the pickle. Never forget the pickle. I'm a big fan of the pickle in the burger. Okay. See how the meat's red? That's a good medium rare. I just want to have a bite right now, sorry. That's so good.